We come every year, and a lot of the information is redundant, but it is very necessary. Back in 1998, the board at that time blessed you with this presentation. They actually, this 1998 was a few years after the natural gas industry had deregulated, and that was sort of the new world. And so the board at that time decided to delegate some of the duties associated with natural gas purchasing to the CEO. So as you look at this list, you can see the top half, for which board authority is required, is very strategic in nature. And then the lower half of the chart, those activities are more operational and have some monthly and daily characteristics to them. So, for example, I mentioned there we have ample capacity. We do have permission to contract for up to 160,000 decatherms per day. Currently, our contract with East Tennessee Natural Gas is for just over 157,000. To put that in perspective, across the winter, we would take 50 to 55,000 decatherms per day on average. But of course, average is not what we have to plan for. We have to plan for the peak. So back in February of 2015, we hit a peak of just a little over 136,000. So we are comfortable with that number at this time. But if we ever did feel that we needed to increase that, we would come back to the board and you guys would make the decision on that. An example of something that is more operational in nature, should we get a cold snap? Sometimes our purchases are planned out and we do a base load across the month. If a cold snap comes along, then we make a decision on, are we going to pull extra from storage, or will we go out and do an extra, what's called a spot purchase for just a few days. And that allows us to look at the price of that spot gas and decide if we want to take it or not. And then the last bullet, we are authorized also to sell some of our excess capacity. This is typically in the summertime, but it doesn't have to be. When we do that, any savings that we achieve through that go directly to our customers because that is a purchase gas expense, and we have that purchase gas adjustment that occurs every month. So last year, we were able to return almost $200,000 back to the customer through this program. And again, here's the map that I mentioned. And if you will see, the red lines on the chart represent Tennessee Gas Pipeline, and those lines go down into the Gulf of Mexico and out into Texas. And for many, many years, this has been the main source of air supply, the primary source. We have several contracts on that pipe. Then the kind of light blue line that you see coming across just east of Nashville there, that is called TETCO, or Texas Eastern. And that is a pipe that we have not used very much. We actually do not have contractual rights on that pipe, but some of the suppliers do, and they are able to drop off to us at the receipt point on East Tennessee, which is the bright blue lines traversing Tennessee. So we actually have two contracts where they are dropping gas off to us from TETCO. That gas is typically going to be sourced in the north now with the Marcellus shale play. That's where it is coming in from. And then we have a little bit of supply available on the East Tennessee pipeline itself. There are some very small suppliers there, so we use those to the extent that we can. Our activities for this year, we did not do a lot of contractual activity this year. If you'll recall, last year we came to you and we had renewed our contracts with ConocoPhillips, BP, and Shell, and those are all producers. Those are our largest contracts, so those will be in place for a couple more years. We did one small contract with a company called CNX, and again, they're one of the companies that is on the East Tennessee pipe. And again, just going back to our portfolio, you can see ConocoPhillips, and we have both Tennessee Gas Pipeline Supply and also TETCO Supply. Same thing for BP, and then Shell we have only on TGP, and then CNX that I just mentioned is on the East Tennessee Natural Gas Pipeline. There are a few others that we have standard contracts in place with that we can buy on a monthly basis or a daily basis, but these are the ones for which we're typically purchasing from every month. And then of course storage is a very important component of our portfolio. That is really what gets us through the winter. The Tennessee Gas Pipeline storage, of course, is our largest field, and we pull on it and re-inject throughout the winter. The Saltville location on East Tennessee helps us with some of our peaking and to manage any daily swings. We can also re-inject onto it throughout the winter. So if we have a cold spell, we draw it down. If we have a warm spell, we may be able to put some gas back in there. And then lastly, LNG is our absolute peaking service. And once we draw from it during the winter, we are not able to re-inject, so we do guard that one very closely. And then we would re-inject during the summer months to that storage field. We do have a hedging program, and through this, what we're attempting to do is to minimize the volatility of prices. So again, everything that we purchase, that flows directly through that purchase gas adjustment and onto the customer's bill. And what we want to do is to mitigate any peaks or any valleys and just to smooth that out. So we are typically doing a price lock every month, and that lock may be just for the winter or it could be for 12 months. And what we're doing there is basically dollar cost averaging. We're just smoothing that out. We're not market timers. We're not trying to guess where the market is going, but that strategy enables us to reduce that volatility. And you can see there, our target is generally to have 60% price certainty on the upcoming month as we layer in those locks every month. And I know you are well aware of this, but weather absolutely drives consumption, and consumption drives bills. So again, while right now we're in a bit of a warm spell, we are not going to try and predict what the winter is going to do. Last year, we were warm like this. I was saying every time November is warm, December tends to be cold, and they even each other out or vice versa. Last year, of course, was the first year that did not happen. November was warm, and December was also warm. So I'm not going to make any predictions even about December. We will do our bill projections just based on normal weather, and then as we go into the winter, we will see how that turns out. So the good news for our customers right now, of course, is if this warmer weather holds, their bills would be lower even than what we are projecting here. So, and for our projections, they're actually very comparable to what we've seen for the last 5 years on average. Our gas bill projection is the first chart there, and you can see it is actually slightly lower. It's about $1 lower than the 5-year average. And that is being driven by the market price of gas. You've heard us mention before Shell gas, S-H-A-L-E, and that Shell gas continues to impact the industry and keeps those prices low. And then for our electric bill projection, a little bit higher than the 5-year average, about $10, and that is actually evenly spread between 3 factors. One is consumption. We're projecting that the volumes will be a little bit higher than they were the past 5 years. And then also the KEB rate increases, which you're very much aware of. Those added $3 to the bill. And then finally, TVA increases have added almost $4 to the bill. And again, even with warmer weather, and should we have lower bills even than what we're expecting, there will be some customers who have difficulty paying their bills this winter, and we are very aware of that. We do provide energy savings information, and that is available in our call centers, on the phone, and of course on our website. And if customers make permanent adjustments to some of their habits or permanent improvements to their homes, then that can have a lasting impact on their bills. And then of course, one of the things that I'm very glad we have is the customer counselors. And not every utility has that. But for those who are struggling to pay their bill, those counselors will walk them through all the different options that they have available. They will reach out to CAC if they need to and seek outside assistance. So the Knoxville area is fortunate to have some what's called LIHEAP federal funds, the Low Income Heating Assistance Program. So they will put them in touch with the appropriate people to obtain that. And then, of course, we have our own KEB Project Help Fund that will step in and help customers to meet the needs of their bills. We also have the KEB gift card, and this actually came from a suggestion from Commissioner Williams several years ago, and this was put in place. These cards can be purchased and redeemed in the KEB service centers, and they are work very well for either individuals or organizations that want to assist friends or family members or just folks in the community. So as we come into the holiday season, they are particularly popular with churches who want to hand that out during the holiday season. And so again, most of those options are there to provide some immediate relief to the customer bill. But in recent years, there are two programs which go beyond that and look more at root causes and long-term solutions. And one of those is the KEEM, the Knoxville Energy Extreme Makeover. And that is funded by TDA, and that funding will continue through 2017. And then, of course, we have KEB's own Rounded Up program. That program is ongoing, and actually, the next presentation on your agenda is about Rounded Up. So we will be talking through that. But at this time, before we start the Rounded Up presentation, do you have any questions about the winter update? Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioners, I recognize Chris Hood, but before I do so, come on up, Chris. I just want to thank you all. A little over a year ago, you approved the Rounded Up program, and the report today will show you the impact it's having in our community. So thank you for your support.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I would like to provide you with an update on the Rounded Up program. As you might recall, Rounded Up was launched back in May of 2015 with the goal of providing a sustainable source of funds to weatherize older homes in our community. At the time, it was determined that numerous funds were available for customer assistance in helping pay bills. However, little was being done to actually attack the root cause of the issue. That is the fact that Knoxville and the surrounding communities have a large stock of older, energy inefficient homes, which the homeowners are unavailable really financially to make the repairs that are needed to bring those up to date. With that, KB teamed up with the Knox County Community Action Committee, or CAC, to put Rounded Up into motion. KB used the donations from our customers through Rounded Up, along with the existing resources at CAC. CAC had previously worked with several weatherization programs in order to start making changes in the lives of our customers by weatherizing homes immediately upon the receipt of donations. Like I said, Rounded Up was launched back in May of 2015. Our customers responded strongly. Participation in this program has been great. We currently have monthly donations that come into the program, and customers are participating at a 64% rate. This is pretty phenomenal that our customers have reacted like they have. The big thing here is, since inception, over $1.2 million have been donated from our customers to help weatherize homes in our community. At the same time that we started receiving funds, CAC started receiving applications. The demand for this program, as well as the Extreme Energy program that Sherry mentioned earlier, are significant. To date, CAC has approved 353 applications from customers. Even more importantly, over $1 million of Rounded Up funds have already been put into place creating energy efficiency in 97 customer homes. We've got 18 more homes that are currently in progress, and then on top of that, of the original 353 applications, almost 240 of those homes are still working their way through the process to be approved. On top of this, demand continues each day and each week. CAC will receive more applications. There are 264 applications that are pending approval still at CAC. So this is a true need in our community, one which, as you can see from the next map, is not isolated to just a single segment of our population. The gold on this map represents KB's service territory, and each of the blue dots represents a completed Rounded Up home. So this is not, one segment of our population where we have these older homes in which people cannot afford to update them and winterize them to where they can withstand the cool, well, the projected cool that we may have this fall, along with the hot summers. So you can see Rounded Up is impacting our community all across our service territory. So what type of projects does it normally encapsulate for a Rounded Up home? The biggest thing is, obviously, heat and air is a big energy factor. A lot of these homes have either heating units that are very old or energy inefficient, and those are being replaced with new units, new gas furnaces, new heat pumps, new air conditioners. When that is taking place, as CAC is going in, their crews are performing energy audits, they're determining but a lot of the ductwork that's associated with that central heat and air is just not up to par. It's leaky, or it won't withstand the energy efficiency of the new unit, so that ductwork is repaired also. Other measures that are very common in these homes, insulation is a big issue. We just don't have an insulation that's up to today's standards in many of these older homes. So CAC is going in, getting that appropriate energy factor in there to get that insulation where the home will stay warm this winter. Additional measures, obviously some of the water heaters are being replaced with old units going out and new energy efficient units going in. They're tightening up the homes by sealing them up, and then windows are another factor. While there have been a few homes that received windows, not that many, we're finding single pane windows, we're finding fractured windows that are just letting cold air into these homes. Another couple items of note where rounded up dollars are being invested is in some of the safety of the homes. In gas homes, before the CAC crews leave, they make sure that that home is safe with carbon monoxide detectors, and also bath fans are being installed in order to pull moisture out of these homes and pull heat out as well. Let's take a look at Rounded Up in action. This is an example of a gentleman that lives in our community. He is elderly, he is disabled, he is on a fixed income, and he lives in an old home. His home was 69 years old. It does not have central heat and air. It's hard to believe in our communities. We have got so many luxuries in our homes today. But this gentleman was basically getting his cooling from that window unit right there. On the inside of his home, in the winter, space heaters were present, and that's what he used to be able to heat and cool his home. CAC crews come out, start evaluating the home, and look for the energy measures that could really help this gentleman out. This picture right here on the far side of the screen is the window unit. That's what he used for cooling. CAC replaced that with a new heat pump, and in order to do so, and in order to push that heat and air throughout the home, had to install new ductwork in the crawl space of his home. This gentleman right here is really what CAC is all about, what Rounded Up is all about. And the fact that this guy, before the crews left, he stopped them. He wanted to let them know just how tickled he was at the impact that this had made in his life. He could not do this on his own. However, through their help, his life's been changed in the way that he can now heat and cool his home. But he wanted to thank them, not only them, but everybody that had helped through their donations. Next example here, this is another situation. This is a little bit different twist in the fact that we've got a single mom with a home that was built in 1954. Insulation of the home was just sparse. It wasn't doing its job. The heat pump was at the end of its life. But even more importantly in this instance, when CAC's crews went in, they discovered that there was two wiring issues, one on the hot water heater and one in the attic. So for this home right here, not only did energy efficiency come into play, but safety before they could leave the home. Here's a look at the old unit. Obviously you can tell this is at the end of its life. It has seen better days. This unit was replaced with a much more energy efficient unit, allowing the homeowner to get the benefit of that. And then in addition, this is the attic in the home. Sorry, these pictures are a little dark, but it is the attic. You can see this wiring right here was one of the issues they found. They took care of that before they did anything, and then they were able to blow insulation into the attic to keep the home nice and insulated. All in all, I think we can say at this point in time, Rounded Up has been a great success. We have established one of our goals, accomplished one of our goals, which was establishing a source of funds to weatherize homes in our area. But not only that, each of the Rounded Up homes that have been completed have benefited from greater than 20% energy efficiency increase. And that's not only something that we can say these dollars are being put to use today, but these dollars are being invested for years to come.
How are we publicizing our success with regard to these projects?
I think this is one of the ways that we wanted to come today to talk about this, was the fact that we're now at the point to where we can see impacts, and we're starting to get a little bit of the results through with bills, but we can't tell all the savings yet. But this is one day that one of the ways today we want to come and talk to you as our board to show you what we were doing. Also, CAC publicizes this program a lot. CAC is out in the community, and when they've got people come in, they know about this program. They know that these funds are out there.
Also, there was a birthday party, for the lack of a better name, that the mayor hosted in a park off Magnolia. And there was birthday cake, et cetera, and all the agencies that had worked on this and some of the people who'd received it came, and the mayor spoke to it, and several of the testimonials, if you will, the folks that were there talking about how much they'd appreciated it. So in that community, it is being talked about a lot, and it's being promoted at their neighborhood meetings and things like that.
I have a question about type of oversight KUB has, and then regarding the line where the KUB rounded up dollars, is there one that can and can't be used? In an old house, sometimes you know, there's a lot of unforeseen things you discover where cracked foundation or anything that would be, oh, this is much greater. Does CAC have kind of a net that allows for those things to also be taken care of at the same time?
Let me answer to the oversight first. Rounded up dollars are reviewed on several levels. Here at KUB, one of our organizational risk assessments each year is on rounded up. So we're doing an internal assessment through our internal audit to ensure that these dollars are coming through and flowing through appropriately. Also, our KUB financial audit looks at all of our accounts. So that's another way that we are held accountable here. On the CAC side, this is a part of their financial audit. So this is one of their programs, and it is assessed through their auditors. Another thing that we do is through the agreement we signed with CAC when we launched Rounded Up, we've got the ability to ask for any records at any times on the program. So each month we receive the number of dollars spent, where they were spent, the invoices on how they were spent. So really we've got a good check and balance to make sure that as we are pushing dollars through, they're being spent appropriately.
I guess I'm more talking about less the money side and more the implementation side and the quality of work. And then if somebody does know a liability, if you notice a problem that's greater than the issue you're looking at, it's still a problem. How do you?
Two things. One, CAC goes in and performs an energy assessment on the home to start with. At that point in time, they can then bid out through Knox County procurement the actual work on the home. So if CAC goes into a home and determines that this is not a home in which we can put these measures into place, then that application will not go through the process. It will terminate. CAC does, however, have some other resources in which they can still help that homeowner. It just would not be under the Rounded Up umbrella.
Just think about asbestos. Might be a big one.
Yeah, there are certain things that this program will not do. However, CAC does have an energy services group with resources to help homeowners for other issues.
We put a sign out front. I see every time I see it in our neighborhood, whenever a utility, a plumbing company or a renovation company, another successful story. It'd be particularly in the area where my church is, where there's some trust issues. It would be nice to have a sign in the front yard saying, you know, this another home made more energy efficient through KUB and CAC.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Great idea. Because these, I mean, there's 100 of these homes out there now. We're to that point.
Just ask the owner if we could do it 30 days after we finish.
It's a great idea.
Any more questions? Thank you.
The good news is